What if I told you the first 5 minutes after you wake up secretly decide the next 24 hours of your life? Ancient philosophers knew it. Modern neuroscience proves it. And the difference between people who thrive and people who merely survive often comes down to what they do in those first moments of the morning. Today, you're going to discover the 10 declarations that rewired emperors, warriors, and survivors, and they can rewire you too. Most people don't even realize it, but every morning they're making a choice that sets the tone for their entire day. The problem? They're making it unconsciously. The alarm goes off, they grab their phone, and within seconds they're scrolling through notifications, headlines, and other people's problems. Without even noticing, they've handed control of their emotions to the outside world. But here's the science. In those first few minutes after waking, your brain is at its most moldable. Neuroscientists call it a window of plasticity. The thoughts you choose in that fragile moment literally rewire your neural pathways, creating automatic responses that echo throughout the day. The Stoics understood this long before brain scans existed. To them, mornings weren't just routines, they were battlegrounds. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, would remind himself each morning that he would face arrogance, jealousy, and dishonesty, not to feel defeated, but to prepare his mind for strength instead of surrender. So here's the question. If your mornings are shaping your destiny, who's really in control? You or the world around you? Here's a truth most people never stop to consider. Your emotions aren't random, they're choices. And the moment you accept that, everything about your life begins to shift. Think about how most people live. Their mood is at the mercy of traffic, the weather, their boss's attitude, or even a single notification on their phone. One bad comment online, and suddenly their entire day is ruined. That's not control, that's emotional slavery. But the Stoics discovered a different path. Viktor Frankl, who endured the horrors of a concentration camp, wrote, "Everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances." If he could maintain emotional control in the darkest conditions imaginable, then you and I can do it in daily life. When you wake up and declare, "I am responsible for how today feels," you're making a declaration of independence. You're saying, "My happiness, my peace, my confidence, they belong to me, not to the world around me." This doesn't mean you'll never feel sad, frustrated, or disappointed. It means you'll recognize those emotions as temporary visitors, not permanent residents. You'll stop blaming circumstances for how you feel and start authoring your own emotional experience. Once you've taken responsibility for your emotions, the next step is protecting them. Think of your peace of mind like a fortress, and you are the gatekeeper. The problem is, most people leave their gates wide open. Every criticism, every worry, every negative thought just marches right in and takes over. One bad comment online, and suddenly their entire day is hijacked. Marcus Aurelius understood this better than anyone. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." True power isn't about controlling the chaos around you. It's about controlling what happens within you. When you wake up and declare, "Nothing can disturb my peace without my permission," you're drawing a boundary around your inner world. You're saying, "My tranquility is not a public playground. My mind is not open for anyone else's chaos." This doesn't mean you become cold or detached. It means you develop the discipline to remain centered no matter what storms rage outside. You can acknowledge that someone said something hurtful without letting it define your day. You can recognize a setback without letting it destroy your confidence. The secret lies in the pause, that tiny space between what happens to you and how you respond. Most people react so fast they don't even know this space exists, but once you learn to find it, you unlock a superpower, the ability to choose peace over chaos, clarity over confusion. One of the fastest ways to drain your energy is by obsessing over things you'll never be able to change, and yet that's exactly what most people do. They stress about the weather, they replay arguments from the past, they worry about the economy, politics, or even what someone else might think of them. All of that mental energy gets poured into things that are completely outside their influence. Epictetus simplified life into two categories: what's in your control and what's not. Master that distinction, and you master your mind. So what actually belongs to you? Your effort, your attitude, your words, your actions, your reactions, your decisions. That's it. Everything else, other people's behavior, the past, the future, even random chance, is beyond your reach. The problem is, most people get this backwards. They spend 80% of their energy worrying about the uncontrollable while neglecting the few things they can actually influence. No wonder they feel powerless. But when you wake up and declare, "Today, I focus only on what I can control," you're making a strategic choice. You're choosing clarity over chaos. You're investing your energy where it can actually make a difference. The Stoics even had a mental exercise for this. Imagine 3 circles. In the center are the things you control
control completely. In the second ring, the things you can influence a little. And in the outer ring, the things you can't control at all. Your job is simple. Put almost all of your attention on the center, a little on the second, and none on the third. Do this, and suddenly the world feels lighter. Instead of waking up overwhelmed by everything going wrong, you wake up energized by everything you can make right. One of the most exhausting traps people fall into is tying their self-worth to whatever happens in a single day. If things go well, they feel unstoppable. If things go badly, they feel worthless. It's an emotional roller coaster that never ends. The Stoics knew this was a dangerous way to live. Seneca, one of Rome's greatest philosophers and advisors to emperors, learned it firsthand. He was exiled by Caligula, later forced to end his life by Nero. His wealth, his power, his influence, all of it could be taken away, but what couldn't be touched was his inner worth. He understood that external achievements are temporary, but inner value is eternal. Society pushes the opposite message. We're told our value depends on our productivity, our bank account, our relationship status, or the number of likes on a post. But when you wake up and declare, "My worth is not measured by today's outcomes," you're rejecting that lie. You're saying, "I am valuable because I exist, not because of what I achieve." This doesn't mean you stop caring about results. It means you separate your effort from your identity. You can pursue excellence without letting failure crush your confidence. You can celebrate success without depending on it for your self-respect. The Stoics had a phrase for this: preferred indifference. Achievements are preferred, but they don't define you. Winning the argument, landing the job, hitting the goal, those are nice, but not getting them doesn't make you any less worthy. So each morning, remind yourself, my worth is not measured by today's outcomes. Success or failure, I remain worthy of love, respect, and dignity. That's the kind of confidence no setback can take away. The same fire that melts butter hardens steel. Every obstacle you face has the power to either weaken you or forge you into something stronger. The choice is yours. Most people see challenges as punishments. They complain, they wish the problems away, they feel unlucky. But the Stoics saw something different. They believed obstacles weren't barriers, they were training grounds. James Stockdale, a U.S. Navy admiral who survived 7 brutal years as a prisoner of war in Vietnam, credited his survival to Stoic philosophy. He explained that you must never lose faith that you will prevail in the end, while at the same time confronting the harsh reality of your situation. Challenges don't destroy you, they reveal what you're made of. Marcus Aurelius captured it perfectly. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. In other words, the obstacle itself becomes the path forward. When you wake up and declare, every challenge is a chance to grow stronger, you're rewriting the story. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? You begin asking, what is this trying to teach me? You stop being a victim of circumstances and start becoming a student of life. This doesn't mean you should enjoy suffering or go looking for problems. It means you recognize that resistance is the price of growth, and growth is the price of a meaningful life. Muscles only grow when they're tested. Character only develops when it's challenged. So each morning, remind yourself, I welcome difficulties as opportunities to develop my strength. Today's obstacles are tomorrow's power. I don't pray for an easier life. I pray to become a stronger person. Comparison is one of the fastest ways to destroy your peace, your confidence, and your progress. And yet, it's the trap almost everyone falls into. Every morning, millions of people wake up and immediately measure their lives against someone else's highlight reel. They scroll through social media, see vacation photos, promotions, or relationship posts, and suddenly their own life feels small. But what they're really comparing is their behind-the-scenes reality to someone else's carefully curated performance. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus warned against this centuries ago. He taught that the only meaningful competition is with the person you were yesterday. Looking at your neighbor's path only distracts you from walking your own. When you declare, I will not compare my journey to anyone else's, you're choosing freedom. You're refusing to let someone else's timeline dictate dictate your self-worth. You're acknowledging that everyone has different starting points, different challenges, and different definitions of success. Your journey is unique because you are unique. Your background, your strengths, your struggles, your dreams, no one else has them in the exact same way. Trying to live someone else's path is like trying to wear their shoes. They might look good from the outside, but they'll never fit you, and eventually they'll cause pain. The most fulfilled people learn to define success for themselves. They celebrate others without diminishing themselves. They appreciate their own progress without needing external validation. So each morning, remind yourself, I will not compare my journey to anyone else's. My path is mine alone. My timing is perfect, and my progress is meaningful.